am I doing right here? Guess I'm doing the Cannibal Corpse video in here. I was planning on doing it in the other room. Anyway, yeah, this is my top 10 Cannibal Corpse albums, and let's just get into it. Although first, I want to make two things. I want to get two things out of the way before I start the list. I'm going to sit right there right now. This is 100% opinion based. This is not popular or popularity. If I was doing top 10 popularity, the number one would be, I don't know which one, but yeah, this is not popularity. This is not most viewed on YouTube or whatever. This is my personal top 10 Cannibal Corpse albums. And the second thing I want to get out of the way is I do want to mention an honorable mention. Yes, I'm going to be mentioning an honorable mention. That's what honorable mentions are. You have to mention an honorable mention in the video. So my honorable mention is, of course, Go Obsessed. This one got very close to being number 10, but it didn't make it. So sorry out there, anybody out there who really likes Go Obsessed. So we're going to start the video. I've already started the video, but we're going to start the top 10, the official list. Let's do this. Number 10 is Gallery of Suicide. This one's the album that Go Obsessed was in war, basically, against for number 10, the number 10 spot. And it wasn't that hard to decide which one I liked more. I obviously like Gallery of Suicide more. Obviously, the production is better than Go Obsessed. The songwriters is better than Go Obsessed. And it's just an overall great album. Of course, we all know that this is the first album that Pat O'Brien, the amazing guitarist, first comes on to. He co-wrote one of the songs, and that song is very good. I think it was like, I can't remember which song he co-wrote, but I think it might have been Gallery of Suicide, but I could be really wrong. But yes, overall great album. I really liked it. And that's number 10. I don't have much else to say about it. So let's go into number 9. Number 9 is The Wretched Spawn. I actually forgot to put this review up before Kill. So yeah, I actually realized it from a comment on my YouTube channel. But that's not the point. The point is that this is a pretty good album. I definitely like the songs Decency Defined and Frantic Disembowelment, the big one there that everybody wants to learn and do guitar covers on YouTube on. But overall, this is a pretty good album. Not the best production that Cannibal Corpse has ever done. The artwork is a little bit overdone in a way, but it's still a pretty cool artwork. And just overall a good album. And that's my number 9 spot. And I can actually blocking the light with the list. Okay, number 8 is Kill. This is obviously a very good album. It's a very hard-hitting, like in-your-face album. This is the return of Rob Barrett, and he did write one song for this album. This album is very good. I like it to this day. There's not a single thing I would change on this Cannibal Corpse list. But yes, Kill was a very good album. The production was good. You couldn't really hear, it wasn't 100% clean production. You could kind of hear the bass from every now and then. The solos were good. The guitar work was amazing. The songwriting was very good. The drums were amazing. The vocals were really good. And actually, Eric Rutan, the producer, did guest vocals on the song "The Time to Kill Us Now," the first song on there. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know that before. If I knew that, I would have mentioned it on my review, but I don't think I did. But anyway. Number 7 is Eaten Back to Life. It doesn't make any sense, actually. It's like, eaten back to life, you're coming back to life, but you're being eaten at the same time. What? this title has always made me think, and it's just sometimes it doesn't. I don't think too much about the title, but when you really stop and think about it, it's like Eating Back to Life. Yeah, that's. But the cool part is no one's gonna have that name. No one's gonna come up and say Eating Back to Life. Unless they're like high as anything, but which Cannibal Corpse might have been high when they did this. I don't really know. Anyway, this is obviously the first their debut album for Cannibal Corpse, and I really liked it. The main songs that I really liked was like Shredded with Humans, Born to Cascade, Skyler Remains, Splatter Brains, which which they brought back for the Evisceration Plague tour, because they haven't played it in a while. But just a little bit of a fact there, they haven't played that song. They started playing that song when the album came out, and then they took it off. And during the Evisceration Plague tour, they brought the song back for a live one. Just a little trivia there. Just some trivia, and obviously A Skull Full of Maggots is a classic song that Cannibal Corpse. Yep, and all around, this is a very good album. It's a bit underrated at times, and not much people know about it. But going into number 6. Number 6 is Vile. This was the first appearance of George Corpse Grind Official, and this album is very fast. The artwork is very creative, of course. All the artwork is creative, but it's just a very fast album. If you really like fast technical music and some groovy parts in there, this album's right up your alley. I mean, it seriously is. Corpse Grinder is probably not his best vocal performance, but definitely one of his best. It definitely is one of his best. And this is just overall a great album. It was really good. Obviously the good tracks, the highlights for me was Mummified and Barbed Wire, Devour Before Me, Disfigured, Monolith. There's a bunch of good songs. This can arguably be like a greatest hits album. It was a really good album, and I definitely recommend it to anybody who's Corpse Grinder fans. We're about halfway now, and this is actually the hard part. From 5 to 1 is actually the hardest part for me with Cannibal Corpse. But number 5 is The Bleeding, the last album that Chris Barnes was on and the first album that Rob Baer was on. This is a very groovy album. The lyrics are placed, the vocal patterns are placed perfectly throughout the album. It was great, probably the best production they've ever done, especially their best with Scott Burns. After this, Scott Burns didn't do too well with Vile. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the production with The Bleeding. And the songwriting was really good, and the drums were good, the bass was good, and the riffs. They had a lot of catchy riffs in this one. I think they had catchy riffs in Too Related and whatnot, and bushra and Eating Back to Life, especially Eating Back to Life, because there's some pretty catchy thrash riffs in there. But this one, they had a lot of the groovy. They had more of like, they still had the groove and stuff, but they really hit it with the groove on this album. They had a lot of groove, catchy riffs in it, and that you can just like hum in your head. And it was a good album. I definitely recommend it. Now, before I go on to number 4, I want to get something straight. The actual hardest part of the list, of course, was 5 to 1. But between what's number 4 and what's number 5, I was always struggling with which one I liked more. And number 4 is Torture, the latest album in 2012. Yes, the reason that I picked Torture over The Bleeding was the fact that I thought it was better produced, the songwriting was a bit better, and the vocal performance I don't think was better than The Bleeding, but I would personally rather listen to Torture than The Bleeding. And it's just a great album. who knows what they're gonna come out with next. But this was actually the first album that I heard by Cannibal Corpse, and it definitely blew my mind. And I just had to get in to start listening more about Cannibal Corpse, and I became a Cannibal Corpse fan, and now I'm reviewing them and stuff. So, yeah. Torso, number 4, great album. Listen to it. Number 3 is obvious. Bushra Both is number 3. I mean, holy crap! What is there to say about this album? It's probably, arguably, one of the greatest death metal albums of all time. The vocal performance was amazing, the guitar work was amazing, the production was amazing, the artwork was amazing. The bass, you couldn't really hear the bass too much, but it was still amazing. There were some times that you could kind of hear it. And then, the drums were very good. I don't remember that much blast beats on Eating Back to Life. There was definitely some blast beats here that Paul did. He threw in there. And this is really when Cannibal Corpse, literally, like, it was Eating Back to Life and then Bushra Both came out, and it was like, boom, this is Cannibal Corpse. And they were able to destroy everything, basically. That's what it is, you know. Eating Back to Life is like here, and then Bushra Both is like up here, and it's like definitely a great album, and one of the best death metal albums ever. And it's definitely a classic death metal album as well. If you like death metal and you haven't heard this album, I don't know why the heck not. You haven't heard this album, but you need to listen to this album. All right, number 2 is Bloodthirst, my favorite from the Corpse Grinder era. Arguably the best production ever of all time in music, period. This is probably one of the greatest productions ever. And that's saying a lot, because there's a lot of good produced albums out there. Not just within heavy metal, but within other stuff too. Even though I don't like most of the other stuff, they still have some pretty good production. But yeah, this is one of the greatest produced albums of all time. The groove, the speed, and the groove is like, with this album, they always start with like these speedy riffs, and it's like, and as soon as you start really getting into the speed riff, of course I get into the speed riff all the time, but, and then it goes into the groove, the groovy, cashy part of it, and they had a lot of groove in this album, and it was really good. Definitely Corpse Grinder's best vocal performance, right after Vile. Yes, even Vile beats Torso's vocal performance, and that was a really good vocal performance. But this one's obviously the best with Corpse Grinder. This is Corpse Grinder at his best, okay? And then the guitar work, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is probably Cannibal Corpse at their best. It really was. They got Colin Richardson, one of the greatest producers of all time, to do the production. The artwork's amazing, and yeah, it's an amazing album. I mean, this Bloodthirst will make it into my top 10, possibly death metal albums of all time. I mean, it's just amazing. But what beats Bloodthirst? Number 1 is Evisceration Plague. No, just kidding. It's not Evisceration Plague. It's not Evisceration. Number 1 is Tomb of the Mutilated. If I have to get into about how awesome this album is, and I have to talk about it, it's like, I'm not gonna talk about this album much. It's the greatest death metal album of all time. It's the greatest Cannibal Corpse album of all time. It's arguably one of the greatest albums of all time in music history. I mean, this will be in my top 10 greatest albums of all time. I mean, that's how good it is. Greatest vocal performance by Chris Bones. Greatest performance by the band, the drums, the bass, the guitar, the production. This production isn't as good as Bloodthirst. I still think Bloodthirst is the best production they've had, but the production is awesome. Scott Bones doing it. So, I don't really know what else to say about this album except for that it's amazing. is awesome. It's just boom. It's right in your face. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you liked this video. If you didn't agree with most of my stuff, then I don't know what to tell you, but I would love to see you guys' top 10 list of Cannibal Corpse in the comments below. And if you're probably wondering, watching this and thinking, Cannibal Corpse, who the heck are they? What are these albums? I've never heard of them before. I don't know why, unless you click this video. But yeah, that's the list. 2mm number 1. I recommend all these albums. So I'll see you guys next time. And wait, I want to get something out of the way here that I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video. I know I said in another video, I can't remember which video I said this, I think it was Kill. But I said that I was going to, before I do my top 10, I was going to review their live albums, the band's live albums. I decided against it. I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the top 10 after I'm done with whatever discography I'm doing, or top 5, whatever. And I'm just gonna do the reviews of the live albums whenever I feel like doing them. So, yeah. So if you want to see those, just subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.